Video opens with hyper-detailed, black and white ink drawings in the style of Berserk. We see a lone figure, cloaked and weary, staring up at a monolithic, oppressive structure that seems to stretch into a black sky. The music is a low, melancholic drone. There is a prison you inhabit. It has no bars, no walls, yet you feel its confines every single day. It is the quiet, creeping suspicion that your efforts are ultimately meaningless. That you are a pawn in a game whose rules you will never understand, moved by forces far greater than yourself. We will call this prison the curse of causality. It is the voice that whispers to you in moments of failure, in moments of exhaustion, that everything is predetermined. That your struggle, your pain, your hope, it's all just ripples in a vast, indifferent river, flowing to a destination already set in stone. Stay with me through this darkness. For by the end of this session, you will not just understand the philosophy of a man who spit in the face of this curse. You will possess a weapon forged from his very will, a way to face the crushing weight of your own reality and continue to fight. Not in spite of it, but because of it. You know this feeling. It's the hollow ache that greets you before the dawn. You look at the mountain of tasks, the unending responsibilities, the betrayals you've suffered, the dreams that have turned to dust. You feel the immense, crushing weight of it all, and the curse of causality speaks its poison into your soul. What's the point? It asks. It's all rigged anyway. Have you ever poured your entire being into something? A project, a relationship, a personal transformation. You bled for it. You sacrificed sleep, comfort, and sanity for it. You gave it your all, holding nothing back. And then, for reasons completely outside of your control, it crumbled. A sudden shift in the market. A partner's betrayal. A simple, stupid twist of fate that unravels everything you built. The feeling that follows is not mere disappointment. It is a profound, existential sickness. A questioning of the very act of trying. You see the currents of the world, the sheer, random, brutal chaos of it, and you see your own small boat, tossed and broken. You think, my will means nothing. My choices are an illusion. This is where the true danger lies. The hidden cost of believing in the curse of causality is not just the pain of failure. It is the slow, deliberate self-imprisonment that follows. You start to play smaller. You stop taking risks. You stop dreaming with that fire in your heart, because you fear the cold water of reality that will inevitably extinguish it. You build a cage of comfort and predictability, not to thrive, but simply to avoid the agony of striving and failing. The curse of causality doesn't just defeat you on the battlefield of life. Its true victory comes when it convinces you to defeat yourself. When it convinces you to lay down your sword, to accept the chains, and to call your prison a sanctuary. It makes you a willing architect of your own small, gray, manageable world. A ghost haunting the ruins of your own potential. The screen fills with an iconic image, Guts, the black swordsman, standing defiant. His body is a roadmap of scars, his sword is a colossal slab of iron. He is the very embodiment of struggle. But what if the point wasn't to escape the prison? What if the point was to rage against its walls until your knuckles bled, to scream your defiance into the suffocating silence? There is a figure forged in the very heart of this fire. A man who has been betrayed by his most trusted friend, who has watched his comrades be devoured by demons, who bears a brand on his neck that marks him as a sacrifice, drawing monsters to him every single night. A man who has lost his eye, his arm, and his peace. By every conceivable metric, his life is a hell beyond our comprehension. His name is Guts. And he is not a solution to the problem of suffering. He is the response. His core philosophy is a terrifying and liberating one. It is the realization that in a universe governed by a seemingly hostile or indifferent causality, the only true meaning is forged in the act of rebellion against it. The struggle itself becomes the purpose. It is the ultimate expression of the human will in a world that seeks to crush it. Guts does not fight because he believes in a happy ending. He doesn't fight because he thinks he will win and finally find peace. He fights because that is his last, and only, truly human act. To understand this, to wield this philosophy as your own, you must grasp its three fundamental principles. First, the law of the sword. In moments of overwhelming despair, abstract thought is a trap. To philosophize about your suffering, to get lost in the Why me? To analyze the grand, cosmic injustice of it all. This is a luxury for those who are not on the battlefield. For the struggler, there is only one truth: the immediate, physical act of moving forward. The swing of the sword. The next step. The next breath. Guts doesn't defeat his demons by outthinking them. He defeats them by cleaving them in two. Meaning is not found in contemplation of the struggle. It is forged in the visceral, painful, and glorious act of it. Action precedes meaning. Second, the acceptance of the brand. Guts is branded. He is marked for sacrifice. This is an inescapable fact of his existence. The demons will come for him every single night, without fail. He cannot wish it away. He cannot bargain with it. He cannot ignore it. To do so would be death. So, he accepts it. This acceptance is not resignation. It is not surrender. It is the cold, hard, strategic understanding of the battlefield. You must acknowledge your wounds, your curses, your inescapable realities, without letting them define your response. You cannot fight an enemy you refuse to see. You cannot win a war if you pretend you are not in one. Accept your brand. Know that the demons will come. And be ready for them when they do. Third, the indomitable will is meaning. This is the core of it all. The world of Berserk, and perhaps our own, may operate on a cold, deterministic current of cause and effect. The God hand, the idea of evil, these are metaphors for a universe that is not designed for our happiness. It is a system. And we are caught in its gears. But the philosophy of the struggler states that a single human being, through sheer force of will, can create a pocket of meaning in the face of this universal meaninglessness. Your purpose is not to change fate. Your purpose is to assert your existence against it with such ferocity that even the gods are forced to witness your defiance. The struggle, your struggle, is the meaning. It is the human answer to the silence of the abyss. Imagine you are chained to the floor of a vast, lightless ocean. The crushing pressure, the eternal cold, the suffocating darkness. This is the curse of causality. The chains binding you are your past traumas, your limitations, your fate. Despair is accepting this reality and allowing your lungs to fill with water. Hope is a foolish belief that a savior will descend from the surface to rescue you. The struggle is something else entirely. It is the act of spitting out the salt water. It is the act of pulling on the chains, not with the deluded expectation that they will break, but because the searing pain in your muscles and the raw fury in your heart is the only thing that proves you are still alive. Every strained sinew, every ragged, burning breath, is a scream into the endless black. I am. Here, that, and that alone, is the victory. The imagery shifts. We see close-ups of Guts' hands, wrapped in leather, gripping the hilt of his sword. Then, a montage of simple, powerful actions. Sharpening the blade, eating a piece of bread, taking a single step forward in a storm. This is not just a story. This is a manual for psychological warfare against your own despair. We must now make this philosophy practical. We must take the abstract fire of the black swordsman and forge it into a weapon you can wield tomorrow morning. We will call this process, forging your dragon slayer. It is not a sword of steel, but a mindset of impossible resilience. Follow these 4 steps. Step 1. Identify your brand. Take a piece of paper, or open a blank document. Now, be brutally, unflinchingly honest with yourself. What is the inescapable, recurring struggle in your life? What is the wound that will not heal, the ghost that will not leave? Is it a chronic illness? A past trauma that echoes in the present? A financial prison you cannot seem to escape? A profound loss that has reshaped the landscape of your soul? Do not write down what you wish was the problem. Write down what the problem is. This is your brand. This is the mark that attracts the demons of self-doubt, anxiety, and despair. For too long, you have tried to negotiate with it, to hide it, to pretend it isn't there. No more. Today, you will look it in the eye. You will give it its name. This is not an act of surrender. It is the first act of war. You are identifying the battlefield. Step 2. Practice the one swing principle. The curse of causality thrives on the overwhelming scale of your problems. It makes you look at the entire, impossible mountain and convinces you not to even take the first step. The law of the sword is the antidote. When you feel that paralysis, that existential dread, you must consciously refuse to engage with the big picture. Your focus must shrink until it encompasses only one thing: the next immediate, physical, achievable action. The one swing. Don't think about getting healthy. Drink one glass of water. Don't think about writing the novel. Write one single, solitary sentence. Don't think about fixing your broken life. Make your bed. Forcefully ground yourself in the tangible present, the only place where your will has absolute and undisputed power. One swing. Then another. Then another. This is how you slay dragons. Step 3. Schedule the struggle. Guts is hunted every single night. He does not have a choice. The battle comes to him. You, however, are often haunted by your struggles. They ambush you with anxiety in the middle of the night, they whisper to you during moments of joy, they sap your energy with a low-grade, constant dread. You must reverse this dynamic. You must become the hunter. Look at your brand, the problem you identified in step 1. Now, schedule a time to fight it. Put it in your calendar like an unbreakable appointment. Tuesday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Work on my business plan. Saturday, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Go to the gym and face the physical struggle. Sunday, 9 p.m. Review my finances without flinching. By doing this, you dictate the terms of engagement. You turn a constant, draining haunting into a scheduled, focused duel. For the rest of the day, when the anxiety tries to surface, you can tell it, not now. We have an appointment later. You reclaim your time and your mind. Step 4. Find your bonfire of dreams. Even the ultimate struggler cannot fight without rest. But rest for the warrior is not escapism. It is a strategic retreat to mend armor, sharpen the blade, and prepare for the next battle. In the world of Berserk, the bonfire is a recurring symbol of temporary peace, of shared humanity, a brief respite from the encroaching darkness. You must identify your bonfire. What is it, specifically, that allows you to gather your strength? It must be something that recharges, not just distracts. Is it listening to a specific piece of soaring, powerful music? Is it a silent walk through the woods? Is it a deep conversation with a trusted ally who understands your struggle? Is it 10 minutes of absolute silence, focusing only on your breath? Identify this. And then, this is crucial, treat it with the same seriousness and discipline as the struggle itself. Your bonfire is not a reward. It is not an indulgence. It is a vital part of your war machine. It is the calm that makes the storm survivable. The screen shows Guts, after a horrific battle, sitting alone by a small fire. The flames cast dancing shadows on his weary, determined face. The immense detail shows the texture of his armor, the weariness in his one eye. You may think this is merely the stuff of dark fiction, a compelling story, nothing more. You would be wrong. This philosophy is not proven by its elegance, but by its results in the crucible of impossible suffering. The proof is Guts' entire, tormented existence after the defining trauma of his life, the eclipse. According to the logic of his world, he should be dead. Or catatonic. Or a raving lunatic. By all laws of causality and psychology, he is a statistical impossibility. The system of his world, the grand mechanism of fate, had decreed his end. And he simply refused. He survived. Not only did he survive, he fights. Not only does he fight, he protects. Not only does he protect, he has, against all odds, managed to piece together a new fellowship, a new reason to swing his sword. He defied the gods not by being stronger than them, but by stubbornly refusing to accept their verdict. His continued, ragged, defiant breath is the ultimate testament to his philosophy. He lives at every single moment. He accepts the brand. He takes one swing at a time. And he finds his bonfires where he can, to keep going until the dawn. This is not a fantasy. This is a psychological truth, echoed in the darkest corners of our own history. Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist and a prisoner in the Nazi concentration camps, observed this very phenomenon. In his masterwork, Man's Search for Meaning, he noted that the ones most likely to survive were not necessarily the physically strongest, but those who clung to a purpose. Those who, in the midst of absolute degradation and hopelessness, found a reason to endure. Frankl wrote, and I want you to absorb these words. Everything can be taken from a man but one thing. The last of the human freedoms. To choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. Guts' way is the way of the struggle. He chose to define himself not by his suffering, but by his defiance of that suffering. The logic is undeniable. The psychological opposite of this philosophy is a condition known as learned helplessness. When an animal, or a human, is subjected to repeated, unavoidable punishment, they will eventually stop trying to escape, even when an opportunity to do so is presented. They learn that their actions are futile. The curse of causality is the ultimate argument for learned helplessness. It is the universe whispering, nothing you do matters. The philosophy of the struggler is the ultimate antidote. By focusing on the one swing, the single, immediate action you can control, you systematically dismantle the psychological prison of helplessness. You remind yourself, on a primal, physical level, that you are not powerless. You can never be truly powerless if you can still choose to take the next step. The final image is a slow zoom out from Guts' determined face, revealing him standing on a cliff edge, facing a dark and turbulent horizon. His cloak billows in the wind. He is alone, but unbroken. The path of the struggler is not a path to happiness. It is not a promise of victory or peace. It is a promise of meaning. It is the choice to live like a bonfire in the encroaching dark, a blaze of defiance that may not defeat the night, but proves that light was here. Your life, your struggles, your brand, they are your own. The curse of causality will tell you they are a burden meant to break you. But a warrior philosopher knows the truth. They are the raw materials from which you will forge your meaning. They are the weight against which you will temper the steel of your will. Now, the struggle passes to you. In the comments below, I want you to answer this. What is the one swing you can and will take tomorrow morning to begin your fight? Do not be vague. Be specific. I will write 50 words. I will do one push-up. I will send that one email. Let us bear witness to each other's defiance. Let us forge our purpose together in the darkness. If you are one who walks this path, who seeks meaning not in comfort but in the honorable struggle, then you have found your sanctuary. Subscribe, and join the branded. The struggle against fate is only one part of the battle. The other, perhaps greater, war is against the monster that lives within. To understand that conflict, you must watch our analysis of the Beast of Darkness. The session continues. The link is on your screen. Struggle on.